Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation because of narcissistic abuse. That's almost half. And that's only because a lot of people choose to stay in toxic marriages like they're carrying out some kind of punishing sentence for the sake of their kids or for the sake of some moral obligation. In this message, I want to talk about why I believe this is taking place in marriage, but more importantly, what we can start to do to change the way we approach marriage so that we can avoid narcissistic abuse and this high divorce rate. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. Also, the Royal We private membership is available for you, where you get access to daily support by me and a growing community of people from all over the world. I have a workout program for you so you can get back into shape. We have fellowship once a week and so much more, all in the privacy of a members-only app. So expand the description box section down below this video and check out all the resources that you need, and I'd like to see you there. Now, let's get into this topic of what in the world is going on with marriage, and what does narcissistic abuse have to do with it, and what can we do to change the way we approach marriage? To begin with, when it comes to just how bad marriage has gotten, the numbers don't lie. According to research, 41% of all first marriages end in divorce. And so typically by the time a first marriage gets to divorce, usually one or more of partners, one or the other, is involved with somebody else because the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Wrong. About 60% of all second marriages end in divorce. So for those of you who are worried that the narcissistic ex found somebody special, better than you, and they're going to live happily ever after, not likely. There's a 20% higher chance that that marriage is going to end. But wait, it gets better. How about the third time? What do you think? Third time's a charm, right? I mean, you've been through it twice before, so you really know what you're doing the third time. Wrong. About 73% of all third marriages end in divorce. It exponentially increases. And what about a fourth time? For people who dare to get married a fourth time, well, that's not really included, because anybody getting married for the fourth time, chances are they only have 8 to 10 years left to live anyway, so it's not worth qualifying in these stats. But just to put these ridiculous statistics into perspective, check this out. This is about to blow your mind. Every 42 seconds, there is one divorce in America. Every 42 seconds, y'all. That equates to 86 divorces per hour. Over 2,000 divorces per day. Over 14,000 divorces per week. And over 700,000 divorces in a year. But wait, there's more. There are nearly 3 divorces in the time it takes for a couple to recite their wedding vows, which takes about 2 minutes. So for every couple that's saying their I do's till death do us part, there's 3 people probably getting a divorce right then. More than 172 divorces occur during your typical romantic comedy. And now pay attention to this, because romantic comedies are a lot of why we are in this mess to begin with. But during the course of this 2-hour movie, more than 172 divorces are probably taking place. Over 400 divorces happen during the average wedding reception, which is about 5 hours long. And finally, there are over 5 million divorces in the course of the average first marriage that typically ends between 8 to 10 years. Wow. If that doesn't put it into perspective for you, I don't know what else will. What is the problem? And what does this have to do with narcissistic abuse? Well, let's just consider the top reasons that people get divorced, beginning with a lack of commitment, narcissistic abuse, arguing and fighting too much, narcissistic abuse, infidelity and cheating, narcissistic abuse, getting married too quick, too early, too fast, narcissistic abuse, unrealistic expectations, narcissistic abuse, a lack of equality within the relationship dynamic, narcissistic abuse, and last but not least, domestic violence, which obviously is narcissistic abuse. how did marriage get to this nasty place where the divorce rates are sky high, and all of the reasons are because of narcissistic abuse? Well, to begin with, I think it's important to understand something. The marriage of today in society is so far from what marriage was intended to be that it's mind-blowing. To begin with, marriage of society today is nothing more than a package that's been sold to you. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy that's been sold to you by movies, romantic comedies, music, television shows, books. And what's been sold to you is this fantasy, this fairy tale, this objectified version of marriage that is going to bring you fulfillment. More than fulfillment, it's going to bring you status. Not just status, it's going to bring you a house, a white picket fence, children, and 2 cats in the yard. It's essentially, marriage has become the object of desire. Not the person that you're marrying, but marriage in and of itself because of what it can bring you. As a matter of fact, a gross exaggeration of it looks like this. Your best friend comes to you and says, guess what? I'm getting married. And you say, oh, fantastic. Who are you marrying? Shh. Never mind. Who cares? Come on, don't ruin it for me. I'm getting married. Let's celebrate. This is what we have reduced marriage to, an objectified status symbol, something to obtain. This is why marriage, divorce rates have skyrocketed, because it's no longer about the partnership. It's no longer about the person. And I want to add this. It's not your fault. You see, the truth is about marriage, you wouldn't even know how to find a good partnership. You wouldn't even know how to find the right person for you. And by the way, it's not finding somebody who's perfect. So for those of you who are like, well, nobody's perfect, Kevin, listen, shut up for a minute. I'm not talking about perfection. Nobody is talking about perfection, because that's impossible, because nobody's perfect. It's not about perfection. That's not what makes a marriage work either. It's about compatibility. Stop looking for perfect. Start looking for compatibility. But wait, you don't know how to find compatibility until you first know who you are. You don't know how to find compatibility in a partner until you first know who you are. Now, this gets us deeper down the rabbit hole of narcissism here. Many of you have no clue as to who you truly are. Why? Well, once again, this goes back to the social conditioning. You were taught to obey, not necessarily to think freely. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, get married. Oh, and in this is absolute freedom. Well, kind of. I mean, it's kind of like somebody putting 3 boxes of cereal in front of you. Here you go. You got Lucky Charms, you got Fruit Loops, and you got Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You can have whatever you want. Well, not really. There's only 3 things in front of me. This is the freedom that society has allotted you. And so essentially, you've been given a roadmap that you must obey. And it begins with your parents saying, this is how society works, and you got to do this, and you got to go to school, and and so you start checking these things off your list, and before you know it, you're married. And in the process, you have no clue who you even are, because you've simply been obeying and checking the boxes off of your list. So there's a roadmap that I want to share with you that's going to challenge society's roadmap for you. How many of you are ready for that? How many of you would like a new roadmap? How many of you are tired of society's roadmap of check this box off, go to school, get a job, get married, do what you got to do to be in this society, obey? I've got the secret sauce for you right here. And surprisingly, it's in the Bible. Now, I know some of you Bible scholars out there are going to push back and challenge me on this, but I don't care. Take your best shot. I'm ready. Come on. You ready? Check this out. The book of Genesis. Going all the way back to the book of Genesis. God creates the first person, the first people, male and female. He created them. And what does it say? God created the person, male and female, in the image and likeness of God. Separately. Not together, separately. First was Adam, then was Eve. He created them, he, she, in the image and likeness of God. What's the image and likeness of God? I've said this before. I'll say it again. Completion. God is complete. God has made you complete. God has made you aware. Now, granted, it's been squashed out of you as a child, right? By your parents, by teachers, by society. Nonetheless, God has made you aware of who and what you are. You don't need to go on a self-discovery journey. You need to accept who and what you are. Now, some people are going to challenge this and say, oh, you're speaking some new agey garbage, Kevin. We're made in the image and likeness of God. Shut up. Go read your Bible. It's word for word what it says. I'm not making it up. Seriously. Get over yourself. Whatever denomination nonsense you come from, actually read the words in the Bible, and you'll see it. I'm just relaying what's on the pages, nothing more. Don't attack me for putting it there. I'm not the one that wrote it. All right? In the image and likeness of God, he created them, he and she. We are made complete. You don't need another person to complete you. You don't need a husband or a wife to make you fulfilled. It's not what marriage is about. You're supposed to be fulfilled as an individual, standing before your Creator, in agreement with your faith, with your belief. That is your first fulfillment. All right? This is the beginning stages of self-acceptance and radical self-awareness. Now, but watch this. It goes to the next step. The next step in this biblical plan and approach to marriage looks like this. You have to have a task. You see, after it says that in the image and likeness of God, he created him, her, he, she, whatever. The next step was the task. God said, created Adam to watch over the birds of the skies and the vegetation, the animals. There was a task, an assignment, a mission, a purpose, a calling. Second is your calling. Only then after that did God institute marriage. He said, it's not right for man to be alone. Let me make a suitable helpmate. A helpmate. Not a status symbol. Not a promise of a home, a car, white picket fence, 2 cats in the ground. No, a suitable helpmate. That was the purpose of marriage, to find a compatible partner. Marriage is about the person you're with, being compatible. In order to be compatible, you have to be self-aware. Once you're self-aware, you can find what's compatible for you. I don't know about you, but I choose the biblical way for marriage over society's any day. I choose to live a life of authenticity, a self-awareness, self-acceptance, stepping into my calling, and then a partner who's suitable as a helpmate. Them for me, me for them. Her for me for her. And you should be doing the same. If you're just running out to marry so that you are not alone, you're doing the wrong thing. If you're running out to get married for status, you're doing the wrong thing. And it will likely end in divorce. And you don't want that anymore. Step into your authenticity. Find a suitable helpmate. I hope this message helps you in this time. If you have any questions about this, you can head on down, schedule some one-on-one time with me. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you. Don't forget, the private membership is available for you. All of it's down below in the description box. So head on down there, and I'll be back right here on The Royal We. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any future Royal We content. Also, check out one of these videos recommended by the YouTube algorithm. Share this video with somebody who needs to watch it. Bye, everybody.